This is the Garmin Fenix 6X Sapphire, and what I want to show you in this segment is just a few features. First of all, at the top here you can see the battery life is still 20 days because the GPS is turned off. Wednesday the 9th, you can see the height time, obviously 14:22, and the barometer. This is my Explorer 2, but this video isn't about my love of Rolex. This video is about the Garmin Fenix 6X Sapphire version 51mm. I don't use the notification settings on it because it does do notifications, but I don't bother with the notifications on it. I've turned all of that off. You notice behind a lot of straps. I've done a few videos on straps before now. Let's have a look at this thing here. So this is the Garmin Fenix 6X. This is my face. You can change the face on them to anything that you want, really. We can find widgets very easily on this. So we press the bottom left, bottom down arrow, and then straight away we have the weather. Then we have sunrise and sunset, and if I press this button here, this also gives you the twilight time. So 8:20 is twilight time, so even though it gets dark at 19:45, there's an extra 35 minutes of light. We use this bottom right key here to go back, and you can also set it to tell you or to remind you or warn you, whatever, as an alert as to when sunset is going to be. So you can set it, say, half an hour before sunset, an hour before sunset. And then we can come down to ABC, which is basically a compass, and it also gives the altimeter and the barometer. We can come down to the next one is last activity, the number of steps that I've done, the temperature 19 degrees. To access health stats, we press that button. Heart rate, stress. Stress is number 1 out here. At home it's probably about 100. Body battery. Sleep out here is quite good, 9 hours 21. At home it's like an hour. And then we can play music on here, and then we can edit the widgets as well. Now if we press the top left button quickly once and let go, that turns the light on and the light off. And if we press and hold it, we then get a quick run through of various things here that you can again edit to your heart's content. So here I've got save location, alternate time zones, which I haven't used that, waiting for phone, that's because it's no signal here, do not disturb off, so that means that messages can't come through, but that, you know, notifications is off anyway. Lock keys, Wi-Fi I've disabled to save battery, stopwatch. So from here I can press this button here and then start the stopwatch. Options over here. So go to watch face, lap key on. So you could go to the watch face while the stopwatch is still running, but we don't want to do that. We want to stick with the watch, the stopwatch, and then we can stop it with this button here, and then we can reset with that button there, and then back with the bottom right, and that takes us back to there. Then bottom left, we can go around to altimeter, and that would open up the altimeter, and that gives us our last 4 hours of walking and being outside, and then back. And then we've got compass, and that would obviously turn the compass on. Backlight, you can increase and decrease the brightness of the backlight. Flashlight, this is quite useful, and you know, like in an emergency, you could turn to flashlight, press this button here, and it just turns the screen bright, and then you could use that just to, you know, to look at something. It's just a very, it's like a bright thing, and you could just use it for putting your keys in the door. Or this one here, as you just found out, is the back key, so that would take you back to the last thing that you were doing, in this case the watch face. Press and hold top left, brings you back to the circular thing. And then the next thing is sunset, 1746. And if we take the back key, 1745. So the sun is about to set. And then that will show you the sunset, sunrise time, obviously after sunset. And then the wallet. In the United Kingdom, at the moment, I think Sterling Bank have hooked up with Garmin, and you can use Sterling Bank and Santander. Now, I don't have a Santander account, but I have, very usefully, power of attorney over my father's accounts. So I stuck his Santander card on here, so in an emergency, I promised Dad I wouldn't use it for anything else, says he. So in an emergency, obviously if I need a cup of tea or something like that, then you could use this just to pay for something small. You can turn the watch off with that button, power off. 18 days battery saver, so if you press that, you get 69 days battery saver on. So battery saver is on, you get 69 days, but of course that will only do very basic things like you know, telling you the time. It won't hook up to your watch, it won't hook up to your phone, it won't do GPS. You know, it's obviously going to be quite limited to what it will do, and really we don't need 69 days. It was on 21 days, which I believe is the maximum that you can get from this watch in general use. I've not tried it exactly like that, just to see whether it will last for 21 days. I've only had it a short time. But obviously it's used up 3 days. So, 18 days lasts for, you know, 18 days. So I use the equivalent of 3 days battery when I use the GPS to get from a plot earlier on to where I am now, because it was 21 days earlier on, so it's used the equivalent of 3 days GPS. And then when we go around again, we come to timers. That's quite useful. And then the next thing is the alarm. Now that's quite useful. I use that sometimes, and it's actually quite an alarm. It will vibrate and make a little tone, and if you're wearing it, it tends to wake you up. So the alarm is quite good on this. It's the first time a watch has ever had an alarm that will actually wake me up. And then down here we've got back to save location. So you can save a location as to where you are. You can of course edit this by pressing and holding this button here, and then you can add controls to it. You can reorder controls, and you can remove controls. But if you press and hold that key, it goes straight back. So I set it up as that as a hotkey to go back to the I set that key up as a hotkey to go back to the watch. And of course, as ever, I'm doing this video about watches inside my tarp in the middle of Dartmoor. So, excuse my nose, not many people, I don't think anybody does a watch video literally from the middle of nowhere. Only me. Alright, it's obviously sun has set, it's getting quite cold now, so I'm going to get into bed, and I'll do more on this Tomorrow. One thing I was trying to show last night, or would have shown last night, but kind of ran out of light and time. You can use your watch to find your phone. So let's say you put your phone down and you couldn't remember where you put it. If you press the top left button, and then one of the options here is find my phone. Yesterday we went past here and it was looking for phone because the Bluetooth was off, but as long as Bluetooth is on, you can press this button here and it flashes and makes a loud noise, and it shows here that you're very, very close to your phone. If you were further away, it would be down here. Right, there's no touch screen on this. This is not touch screen. This is just purely button pressing, which I have to say for the outdoors is a big bonus, because if you get water on the phone and it's a touch screen, that tends to sometimes mess it up a little bit. So I think it's good that it's not touch screen. Right, I'll just briefly show you a few other features on here. So if you press the left middle button, you have watch face, and from here you can change watch faces. So I like this one the best. I've got an analog watch here, so I don't see the point in going for these types of faces, but you can have an analog face with various information on, and all the information you would be able to customize to whatever you want. You have this one which is a digital face, but you only get a little bit of information on it, so I prefer my other one. But most of the faces have hands on them, but I must admit I prefer that one there. And you can of course reverse the colour, so you can have it that it's black background or a white background. Again, I like a white background on a digital watch, and then when you've selected it, obviously you then press that one to come out of watch face selection. Under watch face we have clocks, which is your timers, your alarm clocks,